is, and guess what? It's Friday, aka payday.
Come on,
and
payday.
that's important. Why?
Oh, we'll get into it. Hold on. We're gonna get to that. Hey. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Like he snuck on up in there, right? Like, right?
Snatch the hat.
Come on now. Snuck right on up in there. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Shakara Monique. Happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of Nothing Else to Do. We are on episode 16, creeping up on our 2-year anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been doing this for a minute. Oh my God, I don't feel like 2 years, but we're rolling up on year number 2. That's crazy. I'm excited. This is going to be a great Friday. I had a great weekend. You already know how we do. We're going to roll with the introductions, but we're going to go a little different. Since it's just the 4 of us, we're going to start with my bro. Go ahead.
What's poppin', everybody? It's PJ, aka J Fields, newly acquired actor. So actor, vocalist, vocal arranger, musical entrepreneur, music manager. Shout out to the band Ego, the band Ego. Let me see here. What else?
Were you correcting me in the public?
No.
Oh, okay.
I promise I wasn't. Government contracted move coordinator.
Hey, Crystal.
What's up, Crystal? Yeah, and all that there. So yeah, let's pass it over to my sis.
Boop. Hey, hold on, wait. I gotta be like, hold on.
Bestie.
It's lit.
What's up, you guys? You know I'm always happy to be here on a Friday night. Why? Because I ain't got nothing else to do. Well, I did, but I chose to be with you guys. So, you know. I hope you had a great day and a great week. My name is Kyla Simone. I'm a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and the founder of Girls and Guitars. And I am just all things creative. So that is me, and always happy to be here with the family.
That is so dope. And I am, as I said before, Shakara Monique, your hostess with the mostest, your friendly neighborhood entertainer. We are excited to be here. And I'm not even gonna be long with it. We're gonna have our special guest. Please, ma'am, introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everybody? I'm Timea Faulkner. I am a creative director and producer, as well as a strategic communications consultant. So I love all things comms and all things creative. And I also am a huge advocate for women in visual and performing arts. That is at the heart and core of what I do and what I love to do in the advocacy space. So all things humanity, arts and humanities and comms, I'm all for it. And thank you for having me on Nothing Else to Do. Because I'm here. Why? Because I have nothing else to do.
Come on. That's how we do. Right, make sure when you guys come in, you say hey to the crew, tag some people, let them know that we are on. We see you guys come in, so we want y'all to talk to us. Y'all, the crew, y'all family, go ahead and chime in and let us know that you guys are here. Let's go ahead and talk about our week. How was our week and what we got going on this weekend? What's up, PJ? How was your week? What you got going on?
Man, this week was incredible. Starting from Saturday, recorded or shot my first film that I'll be acting in. So it was pretty dope. Shout out to my guy Larry Ridley, Tony James, and 10 minutes ago. It is a movie about mental health and suicide awareness. So be sure to catch that out later on next month. And we'll have our red carpet event in March. Other than that, just being a single dad per usual.
March when?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, Dakota's birthday, February 3rd, so you know that coming up. I'll finally have a 5-year-old. Sheesh. I know, right? Sheesh. But other than that, getting up with my Ego crew. I had a meeting with my DG family, my big band that I play with. And yeah, just staying busy, booked and busy.
I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate it.
That's amazing.
I saw your the little trailer thing, and I was like, "That's my Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right, Kylie, go ahead.
I love it. I want to see the trailer thing.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Got you.
You could put that hat in the chat too, because that's gonna look
Hey,
cute with my
That hat is
braids that I'm
fire.
putting in this weekend. Yeah,
okay.
that's gonna look right. Okay. Let's see. This was a good week. I have actually my music gigs have picked up quite a bit, which has been
Ooh.
amazing. I have been tightening up on my music set, so that's been great from a professional, trying to build up my professionalism as an artist. I've been networking, meeting new people here, musically and such. So that's been really cool. Had a gig on Wednesday night. It went really good of this week. So, and preparing for another one next week. But this weekend is pretty chill. I am meeting a girlfriend tomorrow. She's a creative. She does interior design and accessories and things like that. And so we're getting together to work on social media schedules because we all know that the business side of things can be a struggle. Sometimes you put certain aspects of things on the back burner because you're just going, 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 going. So we both were committed to getting together and saying, okay, let's motivate each other to get on the ball with our social media schedule so we can start the year off right. So I encourage you guys, if you are an entrepreneur, find an accountability buddy. Cara is actually one of mine as well. We are like bouncing ideas every day, running things past each other. Find an accountability partner to help kind of keep you focused, grounded, and on track, with your goals and ambitions. Because sometimes it just gets to be a lot when you're a multi-creative, especially, So that's my weekend, essentially. I'm going to enjoy some downtime before things pick back up. And yeah, that's it.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Let me see. How was my week? I had a good week. Busy, 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 busy. Preparing for my event, February 11th, Love and Music, ladies and gentlemen. Now in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Hold on, say that again. Say it again. Wait a minute. I don't think they caught it.
Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Yikes.
It is Friday. I know y'all got paid. So I got paid. Y'all might as well go ahead on and purchase them tickets. I'm just saying.
Notice she said tickets. She didn't say tickets.
Oh, yes.
She said tickets.
Tickets. First of all.
Go ahead and get yourself a VIP.
Tickets.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And you need to hurry up because half of the VIP section is already gone. So you might want to hurry up.
And I mean, I get to sit on the phone and listen to Cara's ideas and all the creative things that she's doing for the VIPs. So I just want to urge you, this is the experience you want if you're going to go to this show. So I need you to get those VIP tickets. I'm just putting that out.
You might want a VIP ticket.
Tell you, incredible artist, incredible show, incredible host, by the way. I'm just saying.
Tell them about the host, PJ.
Pretty dope.
The host
pretty
is
dope.
with Moses. Mr. J feels with a good time, not a long time. You feel me? Yeah.
So make sure y'all go ahead and get them tickets. Tell your friends, bring your people. It is going to be a good night. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I'm saying that because of the people, my artist friends that I'm bringing with me. Shay Harris can sing. Trey Jones can sing. My baby girl who is opening can sing. This is a night of a lot of amazing voices. You are not going to be disappointed. You can't be. You can't be disappointed. Y'all gonna love it. So go ahead on. Get them tickets. What about my week? I was working on that. That venue, getting some music. I finished another song. I like it. I was working on something upbeat. I was like, okay, I didn't gave like 2 slow ones. I need something upbeat, something now I can work on. So I finished another song, still perfecting it before I decided to go to the studio. Finished the song that I have collaborating with with a hip hop artist, Shy Gill. So I finished his song and sent all my stuff to him. And then I called up somebody so that I can audition for another play. So I'm busy.
You was
I'm busy.
busy.
I'm
Yes, Lord.
trying to do the things, make it do what it do out here.
Yes, Lord.
So then we can have our special guest. Please tell us, how was your week? What you got going on this weekend?
My weeks. So this week, I actually creative produced our campaign shoot for the State of Femme Art. So for those who don't know, we have been doing She Rocks event for so long, which is an event, a showcase to highlight women in visual and performing arts. But I noticed so many women were connecting after that event. So many great things were happening after the event. And I said, you know what? We have to continue to advocate for artists and do more and make sure that we are actually creating spaces for them to be seen, hired, supported in so many different ways. And so I'm creating an app and platform to do that. And so on Sunday, this past Sunday, we had our photo shoot for the rollout of the campaign featuring merch that will be dropping at the event, but also really celebrating the launch. I hired an all women crew. So from creative directors,
Nice.
photographer, the team, the models, like everybody was a woman, so that was exciting to be able to do and see everything come together. I cannot wait till everybody sees it. That's exciting in and of itself, and just ready really for the app to launch and for people to really get an idea of what the platform is going to be like. So a lot of my time has been spent there this week, going through thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. um, to make selects and working with the team to kind of hone in on what we're going to put out into the universe to represent the State of Femme Art brand. So that's one thing. Then also, I've been working with the developer who is also a woman, hire woman.
Love
Come
it.
on.
So I've been working on the developer with the app piece and the redevelopment of the State of Femme Art website, just to make sure that we have all things together. So when Women's History Month comes and when the event comes, people can actually use the app and sign up for membership and have mentors and get hired. So that has been a work in and of itself. It's been a lot. I think moving into the tech space is something new for me. It's something I've never done before. It is scary and fun all at the same time because you're taking what's in your little creative mind and putting it out
Yeah.
into the universe for the first time. So seeing everything come together and looking just at the UX UI design and really working through, the outline of both the website and the app is super fun. So that, and then also I still have a full-time corporate job and I run my agency.
Mm.
So I've been, doing what I got to do to make sure I get those coins while I'm developing and working on my stuff as a creative. And then what else this week? Also this weekend, I'm going to go see the new Jack City play here in
Get
Oh.
into it. Yeah.
so it's gonna be a family fun, like girls night out weekend with my cousins, checking out some, new things. So I'm excited to check out that play and see what it's all about.
That's
I
dope.
was I was
June.
supposed to audition for that play, but I was like, I don't know if I want to be in that because I remember the movie. I don't know. Somebody sent me the flyer and stuff, and they was holding auditions. I was like,
I'll let you know how it goes. I'm like, I wonder how the play is gonna be. So
yeah. So I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't remember the female roles being. So I was like, I remember some of the female roles. So let's just go right into the interview because you've already told us a lot of things that you have been doing. But let's start with the basics. Like, who is Timea? Like, who were you growing up as a kid and teenage years? Like, how did you start?
So a lot of people actually don't know this, but I started off in the arts. So from a very young age, one of the things that I always was into was writing. And I used to write poems, short stories, or if I felt, angry or upset or whatever, that was just the way that I released how I was feeling inside. And one day, one of my teachers, I'll never forget, I was in the 4th grade. We had to do a poem about this girl. It was a picture of an artwork, and it was this girl, and she was looking out the window. And so she said, hey, I want you guys to write a poem about what you see from this artwork. And I'm just like, this is different. Okay, whatever. And so the poem that I wrote was called The Looking Glass. And when I got the assignment back, I saw that I got an A+. I was like, okay, great, cool. But when I flipped it over, she said, write every day of your life. And from that point, I really did. And I was also in theater as well when I was in elementary school, when I was in high school, started the first poetry club at my high school. So I've always been, I thought I was going to do theater when I got to college. I took a gap year because I was actually a paid theater actor. So I was acting at the Lincoln Theater, the National World Theater, and different theaters throughout the DMV. And I was like, oh, I just want to act. This is what I want to do. This is fun. I'm already getting paid for it. Why not? And so my parents were like, if you don't go to college now, if you wait too long, you'll never get there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go, but I won't major in theater. I'll do communications. And so growing up, I think I've always been drawn to and always been around the arts. And it's something that I've always done ever since I was younger. So for me, that was my upbringing. Like my dad, my aunts, all of them were musicians as far as growing up in the church and playing, and from the piano to the bass guitar. Then my brother played. And then I was always around singers, musicians. It just was, that's just how it always had been, actors. And so I think it was one of those things where it was natural for me to be in that environment and that element, because that's how I grew up, and that's all I grew up around. So that was me growing up. I was semi shy, I was an ambivert always. I never was someone who was super outspoken and social, and I wouldn't say I was popular, but I wasn't necessarily a dork or to myself. I knew people, and I was cool with both sides, and I could kind of move through different circles. But I think the arts has always been definitely a vital part of just my life and my story.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome. That it sounds familiar. I was like, oh, that's all right. That's all my family do. Everything, singer, music, all of that.
Yeah,
So I was like,
likewise.
I get it. I get it. It's like, what else I'm gonna do? That's all I grew up around, and that's all I was around. I love it. So, well, Kyla, do you have a question before I take?
What walk us through sort of how you got from point A to B, with your initial She Rocks concept. What sort of moved you in that direction? And what were some of the things that some of the greatest, I guess, growing points during that journey that you can say from kind of an entrepreneur perspective?
I always tell people She Rocks event was legit an accident. It wasn't something that, how you think of things and you're like, oh, I want to do this. And you're always, that's something that you're headed towards. This was something that happened just because so me and a colleague of mine, we were covering the Stellar Awards, because I always had a passion for making sure that positive people and projects were brought to the forefront. Because I knew just in being in communications and media and starting off in radio, that not a lot of what I thought was progressive towards impact and really making a difference in our communities, our neighborhoods, were being spotlighted in the same ways that, the Shade Room was, or you know, different blogs and just messy stuff, right? Because people like messy.
Of course.
So you know, I said, I want to do this blog site and we want to focus on positive projects, positive people. So we were covering the Stellar Awards in Nashville, Tennessee, and me and my friend Janae at the time, we were talking because Women's History Month was coming up. I was like, what are we going to cover for Women's History Month on the blog? And she was like, well, maybe because we're in like media, we should do something on women who are in film or like communications or the media industry. So I was like, okay, but I wanted to be something niche. So maybe we could find women who at that time, women were not really producers and directors as far as being pushed, to be behind the camera and directing a whole situation. It was there in some, like you still had Gina Blythewood and different people who were still like directing with like Love and Basketball, but it wasn't common. You heard of more male directors and producers than you did female. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll focus on this. But when I was reading those articles, child, I got infuriated because I realized that, there was a common theme of women in certain industries who were not being highlighted, who just weren't getting the recognition. The pay gaps were off. The way that they were getting commission even for their artwork. When you look at Sotheby's and different aspects of the art, I was just like, this is a travesty and it's ridiculous, and women need to be celebrated more. The trigger was that at that time, I read an article that said that less than 15% of women were being showcased in Smithsonian's and museums across the world. And I said, no, ma'am. All right, I don't want to do a like small blog or a little piece. I want to actually have an event that tells her that she rocks, and that really it's the community and the people, the fan base, who really foster and support and buy into and push and accelerate women artists and women in male dominated industries. They have the last say, not the industry, even though there are gatekeepers and things like that, but it's the people who make that decision. So I went to my parents like, hey, I have an idea for an event. You guys have a church basement. What can we do?
I remember.
Yeah, Kyla was there. I event in the basement of my parents' church. And literally, I just had people who called me like, Timea, I'm trying to buy tickets to your event, and it says that it's sold out. And I was like, what? Like, is this a joke? Am I being punked? Like, huh? Really? So, because I didn't expect a turnout, because it wasn't for that. It was just because I wanted women to feel like, no, you matter. Your work is seen. What you're doing is valuable and it's valid. And you have a whole room of people who are here to celebrate you. And so from that night on, like when I looked up and saw all those people in the church basement, I was just like, oh, this is a thing. And people were just like to me, you have to do this again. You have to bring it back. And I think to your point, Kyla, the pivotal moment was when someone bought me my dream venue and was like, hey, like, what do you think about this? And I didn't know how it was going to happen, because it wasn't like my business was super successful. It was still a side hustle sort of thing. So when I had the second event in 2014 in the district architecture center in DC, I was like, oh, this is a thing. Like, this has to continue to go. So that's how it happened. It was not something that I planned.
That thing was phenomenal. Like, it was so inspiring. There was a couple of girls on there that I've used on our Girls and Guitars platform, so it's a beautiful event. It really
but
is.
Even with that, like, just looking at the women who have come through the event and where they are now, like, I mean, even if you look at Kendall Isidore and what she's doing now, I'm just like, oh man, I remember she was at the first She Rocks event. Sierra Lynn, the artist, she was at the first She Rocks event. So when I look up and see the trajectory and just how they've grown and how they've blossomed, it's always beautiful to see.
That's awesome. And
Amazing.
tell us about the actual event. Like, um, I see when you first started and you're asking people, you know, to be a part of it, or I think if the artist or creative want to be a part of the event and all that, like, exactly what is the event and how um are ladies chosen to be a part of it?
Yes. Okay. So She Rocks event is many things. And I always say you have to be there to experience it to really get the full essence of what it is. But I'll start off with the showcase aspect of it. So from the very beginning, we always wanted to highlight a certain range of women in visual and performing arts. And we always have had a submission process for women to submit and say, like, hey, I want to be one of the showcased artists within this lineup. Typically what's done is just like with this past with the past selection that just happened, is women who are in visual and performing arts at the age of 13 or older. We used to have much younger girls to perform, but at the age of 13 or older, they submit their artist submission. So this can either be, if they're a painter, a painting, a picture of a sculpture, digital media artwork, photography. If they are an actor, poet, or singer, they submit like a 30-second to a minute clip of them singing, or their EPK. We're looking at their social media, because it's different to sing, you know, on a track and then to sing live. you know,
Right.
you
Yep.
know, get some surprises there. So
Mhm.
we look at everything, and I usually have a group of friends and also professionals that I know who are within the industry, in those varied industries from visual and performing arts, send it out and say, hey, you know, who are your top picks? You know, what is your feedback? And we look at everything from talent to their presence to, like, what are they about? You know, what are they advocating for? And then once we have the group to pick, like, hey, this is who I think, or those in the industry to pick, like, hey, this is who I think, then we make a final selection based upon that group vote. So typically there is a deciding vote. We never have like a even. It always has to be odd. An odd number of people who are voting on the showcased artists. And then for our honorees, who are the women being honored, we have actual like marketing and public relations professionals and agencies to submit. So they'll submit different women in the industry that they think, or clients that they have that they think are deserving of being honored, awarded, recognized, and things of that nature. So that's typically how we pick both the showcase artists and the honorees for the actual event. Now, as far as how the event is set up and the whole goal of the event, of course, again, is to showcase those women in visual and performing arts. Typically, we showcase anywhere from 7 to 14 acts.
Mm.
And those who are visual artists, they're showcased through exhibitions. So either they are live painting, or they have their photography or artwork on display in some way at the event. And the performing artists, of course, are performing. So you'll see dancers, poets, singers, rappers, the full the full gamut, based upon who we selected. But at the same time, I think what makes the event so special is that, yes, we have activations. People can We have an unlimited sweet bar, so people can get whatever they want. We make sure that we do VIP gifting and a VIP suite for all artists involved, because if you never ever go to the Grammys, the Oscars, any of that, we want you to feel special. Like, we want you to feel like, oh, I matter. Like, I'm being treated good in this space. And then
It's
we give away
beautiful.
a grant to one of the artists, the showcase artists, and we call that our Artist Fund Initiative grant. So that part we just started a couple of years back, and it's really, honestly, it's been self-funded. You know, a lot of times people may see me like crowdfunding or doing different initiatives. It's because everything you see, from the virtual art gallery to the campaign that's about to roll out, has come out of my pocket. You know what I mean? And it takes a lot to not only, I'm just big on activation over empowerment. It's nice to empower women and artists and say, yeah, you can do it, girl. I believe in you. But it's another thing to partner with them to bulk buy their digital units on, platforms and say, we're going to gift it to the first 100 of our attendees who purchase a ticket. And that's the type of,
love that.
those are the type of things that we're doing. I don't necessarily always like put those things on Front Street or talk about them. We just had an artist who had a desire to, they were like, hey, like I want to be a jam card mentor. And I was able to make the connection. Now they're a jam card mentor. So it's advocacy like that we're working towards, to be active and not just performative.
That's beautiful, huh?
That's awesome. PJ, you got a question?
Yeah, I do. Let me ask it now before technology stops being my friend permanently. I'm for it, and the next time it happens, I'm gonna just stay off because like I don't like distractions. And you're an incredible guest, so I definitely want to give you that respect. But with that being said, so me being the observant king that I am, I would ask how can men be involved, but I'm kind of reading the room. So I'm gonna go to my part two of that question.
Because I was gonna ask that question. I was gonna ask that question. So go ahead.
Yeah, so that's question number one, and then my number two question, and answer to your best is the second question would be, as far as the industry is concerned, what do you feel men could do more? Because obviously, I feel like as of the past decade, women, as far as in the arts and really just in the music industry period, are kind of taking that power back, and I'm all here for it. But I really feel like men could do more, a lot more, in that sense. So what do you think are the things that we could do as men to support you all, not only with your all of your events and everything that you do, but in the industry period?
To your first question, men show up all the time at the event, to celebrate the women, but also to take on different roles. So, we have men who are playing for the artists, managers for the artists, who are coming in to run media, who are there to help with different aspects of the event to make sure that the women are good, who are, performing and a part of the event, but also to enjoy the experience because they like entertainment too. They like, the arts too. So it's not a thing where it's like, hey, this is a woman only room and no men can enter. We celebrate and we have fun with men. I mean, the event is multi-generational. So you'll see people of all ages, backgrounds, ethnicities at the event, just having fun and enjoying the experience because I feel the arts connect us all. And, it's something that everybody can enjoy. And, anybody can support what they believe in, right? So if it's good and you say like, hey, I really vibe with this artist, I want to buy their work, or I really vibe with this artist, how can I, show up to support them? Now we're going to have an app where if you say, hey, I want to support an artist, you can actually tip the artist, or you can actually find out where their shows are, so that's something that we're moving towards. But yes, men can support in many ways. Now, as far as the industry side of things and how men can show up to be allies and advocates for women in visual and performing arts, there's a lot of different ways. And when I think about it, the main thing is really partnering with women to make sure that they are in the room and that their voices are heard. I think a lot of times I was talking to a co-founder of a tech company who is the CEO of this company, and she was saying a lot of times her and her co-founder will be in meetings, and when she's speaking, they'll direct the attention towards him because they think automatically like he is the CEO and he's the point person. I think for men in that situation where they see things like that, it's speaking up and saying like, hey, give her the respect that she's due, especially if she is a woman who knows her stuff. She's in the room for a reason. I think partnering to make sure that her voice is heard is always a plus. I think also number two is, sharing the wealth as far as information is concerned. There's so much gatekeeping within the industry. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
aspects of it can be a boys club,
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's so many men, for example, in music, like predominantly the even as far as airplay, there is less airplay for women artists than male artists. It's just the numbers are there, the statistics are there. So I think, advocating again to make sure that they are sharing useful information that will help women to learn how to navigate certain spaces and move in certain spaces is always helpful. And then two, making sure that our women are protected. I think just socially and culturally, women have to be a lot more careful in the way that they carry themselves, the environments that they enter into, just because of the nature of the world. And I think you have so many women who have reported being taken advantage of in the industry. But if you have people who are partnering with you to make sure that you are protected and that the spaces that you're creating in, whether you're a woman musician, producer, songwriter, feel safe, and you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, like I have to be a certain way, or I'm, anxious going in this space because it's just me and it's all men. Like when you have a person another man in the room who's you can look to like, nah, that's my dude. I'm good. Like I know he's going to look out for me. It makes you feel comfortable. So those are just a few things I feel like, men can do to make sure that they are doing more to advocate for and push women in the arts.
I love that. I have a couple of questions. What has been sort of like the what have women shared with you who have participated in or experienced your events? What are they sharing with you that's kind of an encouragement or a validation to what you're doing as far as what their experience is, and what they're feeling and thinking in that environment? And then also, what would you say is like the legacy that you want to leave behind, at the end game of it all?
So I have three things that I primarily hear. And the first was an encouragement to me. I was actually on my way to come to LA, to move to LA, and it was my going away party. And two women, it's a mother and daughter entrepreneur team, and they did one of our sweet bars. And I was just, number one, surprised to see them at the, going away party. I invited people, but I'm just like, oh, wow, like you guys showed up. That's so cool. They stood up at that party and they said, Timea, your event was the first event that really catapulted our business to the next level. Like after your event, our business took off. I've had another woman entrepreneur to say my event was the first event where all of her products sold out. And then I have artists and entrepreneurs who say, hey, like, I'm still cool with this person and we've done work together, or like we're friends now and we met at your event. So I think those are always dope things to hear. I think another thing is I hear a lot of women say, you gave me my first chance, whether that's being a red carpet correspondent or being an artist on the stage. They mention those things. Now, I don't go out here and say like, or tell or, share all of that with everybody, because at the end of the event, the legacy that I want to leave is, number one, when people come to the event, we're a no mean girl energy zone. We don't do the drama. We don't do the hating. It's all about love. And we mean that authentically.
Yes.
You can take all the drama and everything else somewhere else.
For another
We are
event.
here to show up for and support women. I hate I'm better than you. We're click. No. Like none of that. And I think that's an important legacy to leave because of the reason I started the event. I started the event because there are women who are out here creating who feel unseen and unsupported. And I feel the worst thing that you can feel as a human being is to feel unseen and
Mhm.
unsupported, in a world where I think we deal with so much FOMO and the fear of missing out. And if you're not here, or if you don't have this, or you don't look this way, or you don't have all these pieces going together. But what about the people who do have the pieces, or at least know people who have the pieces that could bring them together and say, hey, we're going to help and we're going to support you, and we want you to know that you're seen. And I think the legacy that I want to leave is, at the end of the day, when people talk about the event, when they speak about the experience that they had, they could say, I feel seen and somebody actually did something to help me. Like,
Mm.
if that's all that somebody says, I'm good with it. I'm good with it, because I feel, to be successful, you have to look back and you have to see many other successful people who are behind you. I don't feel like a success if I am not actively helping others to be successful. And I think the gatekeeping has to stop. So anything I can do to change that narrative of, people feeling unseen, but also people experiencing the gatekeeping and feeling like they're hitting a wall, is most important to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I really, really appreciate it.
I wanted to get one more question out before my stuff
We're
decided to
going
do
to speak against
crazy.
that. Your thing is going to get right.
I
It's
was
going
like,
to get
yo, I need
right.
to get this question out. But so when it comes to the industry again, and I just thought about it as soon as I asked the other questions. Like, when it comes to the monetization of negative connotations when it comes to women, what are things that you feel as a culture, and as not only just my generation, but previous and moving forward, what are the things that you feel like we could do, men and women, to encourage to stop monetizing negative things about women and start promoting all the great pros that women come with, as far as like being queens, being talented, being very, very much communicative about a lot of different things, including money, just different financial literacy, things that women are tapped into. Like, what are the things that we could do to promote those things, rather than keep monetizing the negative connotations that come with the women that are in the industry now?
I think number one is pouring into spaces and things that cultivate and change the narrative around how women are perceived, and the things that are being bought into that may have a negative connotation. I think when you're creating spaces, again, people are into entertainment and we're in a consumption culture. So if everybody is consuming things that are negative, or are defaming, or are derogatory when it comes to women, and that's the light that they're seeing them in consistently, that's what they're being fed through the algorithm, through the music, through the things that they're consuming. So when we talk about creating spaces, or pouring into something that opposes those narratives, we have to create more spaces for that, and spaces of excellence, right? So I think that a lot of times people get disappointed because the spaces are there but the integrity is not, or the spaces are being created but they're not necessarily receiving the feedback or support in a way that is conducive to making sure that things are ran in a certain way, or things are efficient, or things are better. And so I think, number one, conversations should be happening always about how we change the narrative around how women are seen in certain light, whether that's just like, hey, we just see women as sexual objects all the time when it comes to music and things like that. Okay, well, what can we create that is dope, that, counteracts that narrative? And so I think it's just really creating more opportunities to counteract the narrative by, again, having spaces, events, and different projects that are conducive towards the opposite, if that makes sense.
For sure,
It
absolutely.
does.
Tamea, I see that you also have a podcast, The State of Femme Art. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about that?
That I'm so excited about that podcast. So I started the podcast because of the conversations like this and changing the good for a girl narrative. But also to speak to some of that gatekeeping and some of the things that women experience within the industry. I think sometimes we hear about it or we hear that things are being done and it's just like, oh yeah, we're making progress, or oh yeah, things are great, or yeah, I heard about that, but what do we actually do about it? So I have women from, I mean, various arts background, from art curators to women who are active touring artists who, you know, were a part of the event or otherwise, just people that I met or people that I see online that I admire, that I think is doing something amazing in the arts. And we have real conversations about real things that women artists and artists in general are experiencing, from streaming royalties and how that works and what that looks like, to we had an artist to come on from the Bay Area where they were closing down American Still Studios in the Bay Area, and all the artists were being pushed out, where it was just like, you know, these real estate guys bought up the studio, and they had to find somewhere else to create. And it's just like, okay, well, where are we going to create? So I think kind of hearing the plight of artists and just understanding what the real issues are is how you start the first step towards actually doing something about it. So it's my baby, and I love having the conversations because all of the women that I talk to on the podcast are super dope, and they bring a different perspective, because I may not know about, you know, certain aspects of the art world, and having someone to come in who is an expert or who has lived in that experience is always valuable.
Sure.
That's awesome. I want to
Definitely
ask something
checking that out.
random.
All right. I'm
Shake
here
it up
for
a
the
little.
random.
What is that food that you can eat every single day?
Fries. You
Yeah.
don't even have to go any further. Listen, I can have a fry all day, any day, and that is why I am fasting now. Because it's really bad. Like, I can, you know how you have that thing that you can, like, oh, okay, I'm good without everything else, but that's that one thing that just has, it just got a hold on me, like grip. That's one of them things. Fries all day, any day.
Yes.
Right.
I know.
Do you have like your favorite? Hush, child. Do you know what's your favorite fries that do you have like a particular that you have to have?
So it used to be Checkers fries is the seasoning.
Yeah.
But I love me a Chick-fil-A fry. I can't
The
even.
waffles.
It's the waffle. Yeah, it's the waffling for me of the fry.
With a barbecue sauce.
I go with the Chick-fil-A sauce.
I got the Chick-fil-A sauce. Yeah, that Chick-fil-A sauce is stuff.
Yes.
That's dope. That's an awesome question. Thank you for that, Carly. Let's mix it up a little bit. Mixing it up a little bit. I love it. Can you tell everyone like how they can get in touch with you if they want to be a part of the She Rocks event? And you have one coming up, right?
Yes, I have one coming up in DC, March the 24th through the 25th. As of right now, we have a special code that's SR23, where people can get their tickets, all general admission tickets, VIP tickets, $15 off. We have some amazing things happening this year. If you want to get involved or be a part of She Rocks event, you can visit sherocksevent.com. You can email me directly. You can email submissions, SUBMISSIONS at sherocksevent.com. You can follow us everywhere at She Rocks Event. Or you can visit and follow So Fem Art. That's So Fem Art everywhere. And get in touch with us.
What's that code again?
It's SR23.
SR
Okay.
20. While Shakar is in the mode of doing something at the current moment, I'll go ahead and slide
I'm
right in.
typing
Yeah, she's
the information.
up in
I'm
the,
helping her out, man.
in the
I'll go ahead
chat.
and
We
I'll go ahead and
business. We
slide
Doing
right
my
business
in.
over
job.
here.
I feel you. I feel you.
I
I'm
got your
doing
back,
my
baby.
job.
I
Right in
got
there,
your back.
as little brother. So what I want to ask is, because I think the spirit just imparted something, just downloaded something into me.
Come on, Spirit.
What would it take? Or maybe this is a conversation after the podcast is over.
Not too
Um,
much after I got things to do.
oh my gosh, bruh. And then we have her. But with that being said, I want to see what it would take to get you to Fredericksburg, Virginia, like to speak for like an event or something of that nature. Like, yeah,
Just
like you're needed in this area. I think somebody
thank
like you is needed.
you. Just, I mean, reach out to me. I love to speak. It's, it's my passion. It's what I want to do. So I really, if, God willing, I want to advocate for women in visual and performing arts and really help people to develop resilient faith in the space and know that their dreams are possible, that if they just continue to just hold on and have faith, like it'll happen for them. But yes, reach out to me. I would love to speak. I love to go out and speak different places and inspire people.
Yeah, I think something like that is needed in this area. Kyla, we're gonna get you up here too for that. Shakar, can we work on that, please? Because I think something like that would be so dope in this area. And I know the
I
perfect
love
place
how
to do
he
it already.
just
Right.
put me on the
Cara, go ahead and
spot in the
plan that.
public.
And
Oh, everybody gonna just put me on the spot like that. Okay, let's do it.
Cara, you just go ahead and plan that. And
Just throw it all in my lap. But no, he's absolutely right. I'm definitely going. That's my birthday weekend, so I would definitely love to
hey,
check out my first She Rocks events.
yes.
And see what it's all about. Would love to do it. When I first saw you talking about it, I tried to get my daughter. I was like, you should submit because you are artist, you a
Mhm.
visual artist. But teenage.
Amazing.
So next time I'm just gonna have to force her to do it. I
Yes.
tried to let her do it of her own accord, but now I'm just gonna have
Girl,
to be
snatch
a
some
mama
screenshots.
and be
And
like,
please
Uh,
do,
yeah,
because
go ahead
you
on.
know,
Hey, Ma,
Fox
come
alumni
on, talk to me
artists,
nice, Ma.
we make sure we're doing grants on the continuum for them. So we just gave away a grant
Yes.
for Fox alumni artist who's having a art show in June. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I
That's so
tried to
nice.
tell her, but that's all right. Next time, Mama gonna take care of it.
Yeah.
Mama gonna take care of it. Oh, it's so awesome having you. Like I'm trying to
Mhm.
figure out like what else. Like you do a lot of things. I saw the podcast, I saw She Rocks, like, and I've been following your She Rocks event for a minute. So like I knew about it, and I'm just kind of sad because you said you're coming on your
'Cause 10
10
years.
year anniversary. Like, what does that mean for you? 10 years.
It means that this is where I'm supposed to be. I think, that level of consistency and commitment, because everything is not always easy, and I think
Mm-hmm.
um, you don't always have everything that you need for the vision, but as long as you got God,
Come
He
on
causes
here.
all things to come together.
Yes.
And I don't say that to be churchy or formal. I say that because
Mm-hmm.
I have seen literally this move from being in the basement of a church, like a
Right.
meeting, to being expanded into a like 2-day multi-weekend event where people actually want to come, and people actually know what it is. And so to really see the growth, I think is amazing. But it just means that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. For it to
Mhm.
last this long, for me to keep
Yeah.
going this long, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So
It's
And
beautiful.
where would you like to see it in the next 10 years? Like, how would you envision it?
In the next 10 years, I really want, the state of film art to take off. So I know a lot of people are wondering, like, okay, how does the two go together? Well, the state of film art was created so that many events like She Rocks event can go underneath the state of film art, as we continue to do things for women artists. So we plan to have multiple events in different cities, countries, even.
Speak
And
it.
really making sure that we're able to impact women across the globe, where they can say, like, hey, I was able to reach out to them as a resource, and by me doing that, I actually had something, tangible that came out of it. And so that's my goal. I really want it to be worldwide, where we're doing songwriting camps, actor, intensives for actors, like, where we are really making waves, and people know us not because it's some, like, hot girl club, but because we're actually, helping artists. And then we have a highly, like, curated way that we do things, where people know, like, oh, this is of quality, and this is something to be taken seriously. So that's my hope.
Good. That's good.
That is awesome.
If someone wants to, say they're watching the show and they feel like, I love what you're doing, how can I get involved? How can I help? What would you say to them?
So we have many different ways. I think, of course, donations are always great, because we do put so much back into the event. So developing an app, that costs, shooting a campaign, that costs. And we're also putting our money where our mouths are. So it's not just costing us, but we're hiring women creatives and art directors and things of that nature, to do that. So I think that's always helpful. It helps to for us to be able to give back grants to the artists, and for that to be comparable. But it also helps everything that we're doing from day to day to keep running. For those who are like, hey, I don't got it like that, but I still want to help, I always tell people that time and people are resources. And so you may have a skill, whether it's, you're great at promoting, or you're a good writer, or you know someone who may be helpful, or you have a space. Those are things that are always helpful. It's not just about the fundraising or money aspect of things, but also we need help and support and time and resources. Like, I am only one person, and my goal eventually is to have a team where, I'm able to hire a full team and everybody's operating in their different ways. But until God grants that, I, am happy to have people who just want to support and offer, their time, resources, collaborate, and figure out how to best serve the mission of women in visual and performing arts.
It's awesome.
That is awesome. Like, that is incredible. You're doing some amazing things, and like, for women, that's dope. Just hearing everything that you're doing and what you're trying to provide, like, that's just absolutely incredible. And I'm so glad that we had you on. Normally during this time we would have PJ do his new music, but as you can see, he's having issues. And
PJ.
also, and
his
so,
camera, his videos, I want him to be great.
yeah, the faces that it kept freezing on. I'm trying not to laugh, but it kept freezing on some interesting faces. But it's all right. That's my bro. Thank you, PJ, for trying to be a part. I appreciate it. Let me see. I don't have any more questions. I really enjoyed having you. I definitely want to support. If you guys have anything, if you're not doing anything, March 24th and the 25th in DC is the She Rocks event. You can go to her website. Let me put it back up there. I know I put it on there.
I have it on my thing as
Event.
well. It was.
Yep. SheRocksEvent.com. please, please, please support. And even if you can't get a ticket, like she said, there's so many things you can share the event, like even just sharing it on your platform and on your social media pages and letting people know that this event is happening. Just please make sure that you guys do that. Show your support from the event. Here come PJ trying to come back in at the end.
He's over it.
I told him that normally this is your little new music thing, but it ain't
That's
going
all
your way
right.
today.
All right.
It's okay, bro. But make sure you guys tune in next week. Next week we will have Miss Crystal
Hey.
King.
Yes,
This
sir.
woman has business after business after business
Mm-hmm.
after business. Okay, I cannot wait to talk to her. Y'all gonna want to chime in. Like you, if y'all trying to get them multiple streams of income,
Mm.
listen, I'm like, honey, how do you have the energy? Because she is in a little bit of everything. So I am excited. Plus, she has a very bold personality. So I know this is going to be an interesting episode.
Do we need some cut up questions? I feel like we need some cut up
I
questions with this
already
one.
know this is going to be an interesting episode. Also, shameless plug. Um, love the
Hey.
music. Chicago Monique,
Yes.
loving music.
Be there.
February 11th at the Hat Gallery and Lounge. Get your tickets. Get your tickets now. It is going to be amazing. Shay Harris, Trey Jones, Trinity Jones, hosted by my brother Jay Fields. We have the
Mm-hmm.
band Ego playing. Y'all gonna want to be there. I'm telling y'all. I'm not just saying it. Like you really gonna want to be there because you gonna hear about it and you gonna be like, dang, I should have got tickets. And I'll be like, oh, I tried to told you.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
oops, I didn't mean to put her back on it. Tune in on Fridays. We come in at 7 p.m. with special guests, and sometimes it's just us. But tune in for good conversations, trending topics. We talk to our special guests, and they let us know what amazing things they are doing. Like Miss Timea, she's doing incredible things. Follow the crew on all their social media pages. Follow Timea on all her social media pages. Um, Please show your love and support. Follow and like the Nothing Else to Do Facebook and IG page. We post what we have coming up next, who we have coming up next. New music gets posted there, the things for you guys to check out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where y'all can go back and catch a recap. Go back and see some of our older stuff. We coming up on 2 years, so y'all can go find some old stuff that we did like way back when we first started.
Yeah. Some of those
Right?
conversations, you remember that?
Yes.
Turn on them notifications.
Make sure y'all turn on your live notifications because I know sometimes you do have something else to do and you just need that little reminder that
Ain't got
ding,
nothing to
the
do.
show is on. Let me go ahead and check on it and see what everybody's talking about. Yes, Jessica said she's gonna get a ticket. Come on,
Yeah.
Jessica. Come on, Jessica, get your ticket.
Yes, Lord.
Get your ticket. She said, I really enjoyed your podcast tonight, Carl. You guys have a good week.
Oh, you too, Jesse.
Aww,
You
come
too.
All right,
Let me just
on.
hold on real quick. I just want
Hey,
to say,
said.
y'all have heard. Hey, said y'all have heard about two amazing events. Listen, come here, come close.
Hey, my
Tell
MD done
them
popped
right
in
now.
too.
Come
Get your ticket.
on.
Get your tickets. You understand?
Get
Get
him.
your tickets now. Get them
Tell him.
today. Get them
Get him. Get
as soon
him.
as you log off of this
Get
show,
him.
Get him.
because you ain't got nothing else to do tonight but to get them
You ain't
tickets.
got nothing
Two
else
events.
in it.
February, March.
Friday.
Come on, let's go. Let's
Yep.
go.
You got paid. Friday night. Come on. We already know. Ain't no excuse. Ain't no excuse. Get your ticket.
Exactly.
Y'all gonna see more of these videos coming. Y'all saw the video I posted earlier. There's more coming. We promoting this thing.
That's right.
So thank you so much, Mia, for being on the show.
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed you. I love what you are doing. I am going to share your events on my social media pages as well. I'm going to go check out. Like I said, that's my birthday weekend. I'm gonna go check it out because I haven't been, and you've been doing it for 10 years. So I need to go check it out for
Welcome.
myself and experience it. So I'm excited. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Thank you for keeping in the comments. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next week. Why, crew?
Because Y'all ain't got nothing else to do.
PJ trying to say it, he can't because he muted, but anyway, how he gonna do all that with the muting? But it's all right, because y'all ain't got nothing else to do. We see y'all next week.